Another short video for a test drive vehicle that we obtained on the sunny South African morning. 2025-26 Ford Transit Custom Tourneo. This is the sports variant with the 2-liter turbo diesel engine, 125 kilowatts, 390 Newton meters. Quite sufficient for a 3-ton vehicle like this, but once you're fully loaded, it does tend to struggle a little bit uphill. But overall, it's a smooth ride. It's just potent enough for a full load, but expect not to break any speed record. It is what it is. It's a people mover. Comes with this racing stripe, which adds character, but it's really not my thing. Looks good though on this white. 17-inch wheel with a bit more tire. The top of the range spec Titanium X has got a 19-inch, which I think it looks cool, but I don't think it's gonna add to the ride comfort, because even with the 17-inch, it's already a little bit jarring at times. But it's very smooth. When the road is smooth on a highway, cruising speed, it feels like it's floating on water. So that is quite impressive. The suspension is very well tuned. Again, it's not a sports car, and so I don't expect that for cornering abilities, and it's actually pointless to even discuss about all of that. The driving dynamic is exactly what one expects for a van like this, but it is very comfortable, very maneuverable, and yeah, it does what it's supposed to do. The ground clearance, it's okay. It's a little bit lower than our T6 Caravel, which we have had from 2018 to 23. Just a little story about that. We had a T6 because of the kit, and we actually part ways with it in 23, and we try to replace it with various vehicles that I've already reviewed on this channel. And I must say, we really miss the versatility, the space, the comfort, the long distance, maneuverability, all of that. So yeah, we started thinking about getting another bus, and this is what's the latest on offering at the moment. And I'm sure you know this shares the architecture with the VW Transporter, pretty much identical except for the commercial packaging, cosmetic stuff. It's got a very wide front door and the nice electric sliding doors on both ends. The tailgate is manual, but it's quite well assisted, so you don't really need a lot of force. Even my 8-year-old daughter, who weighs about 26 kg, once I lifted up to grab the handle, she was able to pull the gates down and close it on her own. But other than that, it's very user-friendly. The build quality, I will reserve my comment on, because you can see some of the sheet metals that wasn't finished off properly. This is a full import from Thailand apparently, so this is not built in the South African Ford plant here in Pretoria, Silverton. So it's a full import. It's got a sort of like a Ford's version of the Matrix LED. We haven't really tested it, but at night the illumination was quite good. Not as bright as our T6, but you know, with the variant distribution, I'm sure that will cover, you know, the intensity. It's got autonomous level 2 driving aid, I think that's what you call it. And not the best, because it's a bit intrusive, especially with the lane keep assist, but luckily there is a button that you can switch it off. And also the rest of the packaging in terms of safety, it's a bit of a faff, but I think with all modern vehicles, you got to go into the menu to select and to just deactivate every time when you drive the car, or when you start, as you reset after every shut off and restart. There are a few things which we are not quite used to, and I will explain to you as we go along. For example, this glass, this windscreen rather, is called the sound screen. I'm not so sure if you can see that. And it's got these funny sort of like a vertical wiggles. I'll show you now. It's like squiggle lines coming all the way from the top of the windscreen to the bottom of the windscreen, and just these squiggle lines, which is quite distracting because you can see them against the clouds, against the road, against literally anything. The only time you don't see it is when you are looking kilometers ahead, but in the normal driving condition it's right in your face. I'll see if I can capture that. It's got a nice white mirror, side mirror, which split into two. So one is the normal distance ones, and the other one is for the bottom one is the curved one for the blind spot. The sliding door, you give it a tap and then it opens up electrically, which reveals a wide opening. You can open this door via obviously the handle. There is a little button here, as well as the key fob. You can see we have the seats in this configuration because that's how we got it, and you can see the booster seats. The kids prefer to sit wherever they sit. It's very easy to slide the seats back and forth. I haven't attempted to remove the seat yet, but I can imagine that it's not going to be as difficult as the old T6, because these are very light in construction. You can actually feel it when you slide the seats back and forth. Loads of space, which is what we love. Cannot open this window in any way, which is a shame. It's only got one sun blind, not the back. Even though this is very tinted from the outside, you can see you literally can't see in, but it still looks very, very light from the inside. You can see it out of the window. This one doesn't come with a panoramic sunroof, which I think it's totally a waste of time in South Africa, because it just lets in so much light, and you can imagine the greenhouse effect, a one-way experience. It's got all the vents, which you can close or you can open. You can swivel. There's a control for the aircon for the back. Kids had confirmed that it's very efficient, so they don't get car sick from being too hot or stuffy the last couple of days. Loads of USB ports, a holder for the phone, cup holders. You can see sort of things in practice. You can fold the middle seat backrest down, it becomes 2 cup holders plus a little tray here. The same can happen to the middle one. So I really like this 3-3-2 configuration because it's so versatile. You can remove the middle seat if you don't want it, then you have a proper sort of pass through if you need to from the front to the back. For those with little kids, I'm sure that's a big plus, especially when they get car sick or whatnot, not feeling comfortable, and you need to just park the car on the side of the road quickly and just attend to it. Nappy change, emergency nappy change, anyone? Yes, and then wide opening door for the driver and the passenger. The VW has got a 2-tier door car, whereas this one has got a 3-tier. What I mean by that is you've got that, you have got the second one, and then you have got the third one, which I think is more useful because the VW one has only got 2. I think that is quite nice. It's like this, it's soft, but it's almost rubbery, plasticky. I'm not so sure what material this is, but it's like a softened rubber material. This is exactly the same as a T6 Caravel. I'm sure it's borrowed from the parts bin. It's got a proximity sensor, so you just jump in, leave your key in there, which has got 2 cup holders, USB, and this is right at the bottom is where you put your cell phone with the wireless charger. I have forgotten my phone in there, I think about 10 times already in the last 2 days. I just keep forgetting I left the phone behind. Very spacious. It's got this adjustable armrest, which the missus loves. No sunroof on this side, but I don't think it's a killer. So I'm not so sure if one can pick up. I'm trying to show you here, but I don't think you can see it on the camera. It's definitely got these squiggle lines all the way down. I don't know if it's these wires are used for acoustic purpose, or maybe they are just used. Let me see if I can. No, you can't really see it well, sorry about that. But just believe me when I say it, when you test drive this vehicle, please look out for that. It's got all these little bits and pieces on the side that make me suspect that in future they might put a USB port there for maybe a aftermarket camcorder of some sort. It's got a very nice tray here with the USB port, so I suppose you can also connect stuff here. But being by the windscreen, this thing is going to be pretty hot, so whatever you put here, it might melt from long exposure to the sun. Very nice infotainment, very clear instrumentation, a lot of piano blacks, but then I suppose that is just the way the automotive industry works at the moment, until they find a better finish that can present a little bit better. So this is the button that you press twice if you want to disengage the lane keep assist. I only discovered that after a day or so, because that's really annoying. It's very intrusive. And yeah, it's got a multifunction steering. It's got a very nice feel. I think this is fake leather, but it's very well padded. I don't know if you can see, my finger can actually press in. So it's got like a rubbery feel to it, but I can imagine in the long run this will be much easier to maintain than the real leather one, because then you don't need to treat it, you just give it a wipe with the soapy water. Moving to the back, so all the seats are right at the back. You can see it's at the end of the rail there. These two a little bit forward, maybe 5 centimeters forward or so, but this boot is still pretty decent. You can see the backrest that can be folded down to become an armrest and the cup holders. Still very decent. It's very tall, so you can definitely load up a lot of the luggage sort of standing upright. Non-assisted or non-electric tailgate, but it's not a big problem. It's literally a one-hand operation. You tug on this, or if you're tall enough, you just hold on to that, one of the two, and then you bring it down there and you just push it gently, and then it closes with a very reassuring thud. Again, the racing stripe goes all the way to the back. So what do I think of this van? I think it's very nice, a modern interpretation, and obviously Ford and VW joined forces to create something that will appeal to a lot of people in this bracket, especially when you have young children. And you know, the normal 7-seater SUV is just not going to do it because of the accessibility, especially to the third row, like as it is. Very interesting vehicle. It's not without its flaws. For example, something like this, you can see it's just not finished off nicely, and I can see that that is going to be trapping dust, water, all of that in future. And this track, it's going to be a nightmare. But there are little things that make me doubt the actual construction or the structural integrity of this car. It is only got 6,000 Ks on it, so it's still brand new, and I'm really glad that we got a chance to do this test drive so that we can get to experience and remind ourselves the reason why we love a vehicle of this nature so much. So in conclusion, for this particular model, it's just over 1.2 million rand. Is this something that I will consider? Definitely. If we are in the market definitely for something like this, we will have a look at this. In all honesty, comparing this with the Korean offering like the Citaria, Carnival, which is more car-like. Citaria is much taller. Don't know if it's going to fit in the garage like this. And also there's some Chinese offering from GAC, but that is very underpowered and it's only a 6-seater, so it's got a 222, and it's got a hybrid powertrain, which I'm not so sure if it's something that we are ready for in this country. But for what it's worth, this is probably one of the best offerings there is in South Africa at the moment. Thank you very much once again for Ford Mid-Range to lend us the vehicle for this last couple of days so that we can get to experience it. And I think there's definitely a lot of good to say about this vehicle, but it's not without its flaws. Like I say, I will give it a solid 8 out of 10 if one is looking for something like this. Oh, just a quick mention, the fuel consumption sits around 10.5, 11-ish for the highway city mix driving that we've been doing, even though on the windscreen it very confidently suggests a 7.4. I doubt that you will achieve that ever unless you have a 2,000 kilometer road trip or something on the highway, 100 to 120 kilometer per hour constant speed. But for what it's worth, it's a good looking vehicle. It's got that modern touch to it. It's got a lot of nice amenities. The software is decent. The driver's assistance can be a little bit naggy at times, but it's better than a lot of the modern cars, and you can switch off, so that is a big plus for me. Suspension is plush, the drive is decent, fuel consumption is acceptable. Yeah, 8 out of 10, solid. Thank you.